Hey guys, welcome back to Rule 16. I am your host Javon, and today we're about for a brand new benchmark. Today we're testing out South of Midnight for the PC. Today I'm running this on my Intel Core i3-10105 with the NVIDIA GTX 1070, 8GB VRAM graphics card. We're running with 32GB of DDR4 RAM and dual channel memory, and hey, you know I had to test out this sleeper of a game. I will be playing this one, but I just wanted to do the benchmarks because I took a while to do it. Today we're running this at 1080p on the Ultra preset. We will go through all the settings, of course. This is not great. 1080p Ultra is not what I would recommend as playable. Well, it is, but at the same time, it's not. This will dip below 30 frames per second. The game looks amazing, I must say. I play games at 1440p, but at 1080p, this looks crazy good. It does. The water effects, everything that's happening. I love the stop motion. I loved Coraline. So this looks really great to me. We are getting 30 FPS, but it does dip below, hitting around the 28 range, 28 frames per second. So I wouldn't recommend playing this game on Ultra, especially if you wanted a smoother experience. If you wanted a smoother experience, you probably would just turn off the animation altogether. But yeah, you see we dipped there below the 28 there for a second. You know, we even hit 27. So we're going to go down to high now, and we'll see how that changes things. I forgot with this game, there is not high, it's very high. So I don't recommend ever playing games on higher, very high or ultra. And this game has both of them for some reason. But yeah, can you imagine that? I can see practically no difference. And look at the frame rate increase. It is insane. We were getting 30 frames just now, 32 at the max. Now we're getting over 50. I've gained over 20 frames. That's incredible. Well, in some cases, like say like 19, but that's insane to me. To gain that much frame rate just from going from ultra to very high is crazy. But we will go down once again. Let's skip down to high because we're not at 60 frames, and this game can do 60 frames at 1080p. We don't even need upscaling for this. The game looks the exact same. I cannot, listen to me, I cannot tell the difference between very high and ultra. I can't tell you the difference. Let's go down to high. Of course, if you wanted, you could use very high and just use upscaling the TAAU with maybe quality, and it probably would handle 60. But 1080p high is much closer. Now, from very high to high, there wasn't that much a big of a boost, which is why I would not go lower than high with a 1070. You can achieve this much very easily here. It will dip below 1080p, so I do recommend using at this point. You obviously we can do 1080p low 60. I don't need to go that far down for you guys because obviously you can see the game is running completely fine like that. We're gonna need to go down to quality because we don't have FSR, which I don't know why we don't. But 1080p high with FSR quality. This is a 60 FPS experience. This is probably how I will play the rest of the game now. So we're going to actually go on and see what happens. But let's go. I say that this is going to be pretty smooth for the most part. I wanted to give the GPU some breathing room in case of anything intense happening, you know, just in case. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All cutscenes play at 30 FPS, so it will be jarring when you're playing games like that and it just drops your frame rate like that, unfortunately. But it's just how it's gonna be. Dude, listen to me. I won't lie to you. I actually thought this was going to be more demanding, but then I forgot. When I played this game, I only played it at 1440p. So I'm there like, wait a minute. Why is this running so much better than before? I'm like, oh wait, that's right. I played it at 1440p. Right, so let's get into some running. Let's get into some action segment here. We have to do some running. As you can see, even at 1080p high with the TA set to quality, it is maintaining 60 frames per second. Once again, we give it that breathing room. The game still looks great at 1080p. We still give it that breathing room, so it looks good. My CPU, this CPU is not very demanding. This is not a CPU demanding title. You'll be fine. You just need some GPU horsepower. This game is not hard to run, necessarily speaking. But yeah. You see what I mean? Because in certain areas like this, I did see people reviewing and saying that this area here was a bit wrong, messy with the frame rate. As you can see, it definitely was. There are some issues in the game, certainly, but for the most part, you will maintain a 60 frames per second, gameplay style, which I can't hate on. You know, it's 60 here, and it's very smooth. But once again, like I said, this is why we give the GPU room, because when things like this happen, it will dip below. It will not be constant. If you wanted constant, you probably should have done medium settings, but I think this is where this was a nice trade-off. High works best with this, and then we can just play with high. You know, we don't need to go any lower. I think high is fine. When you go down to medium and low, it starts to you start to notice. That's why I recommend sticking to high with a 1070. You'll be fine. Certain areas will be more demanding though, so you may drop down to medium. But yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah, I'm just gonna mute myself to enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Bunny. She's gotta help her. The bridge! Gotta get across. Bunny's house is uphill. She's always fine during storms. If I can get to her place, she can get help from Mama. What was that? I must be seeing things. Okay, can't give up now. Oh, shit! Help! Please! My mama! We need help! Can anybody hear me? Please! Anybody! Please hold. Headed to your old place. Got no other options. I'm so scared for Mama. Dad, if you're up there, keep her safe.